Water, sand, and snow are simple elements of nature, but when taken to extremes, they become forces that shape and define the very world we live in. Imagine yourself standing in the middle of a desert where the sun is scorching mercilessly, turning the sand beneath your feet into a red-hot oven. Now, imagine yourself in a place where it's raining so hard that asking you to hide under an umbrella seems like a joke. Or maybe you find yourself in a cold wasteland where the wind pierces you like a knife, and it never seems to stop snowing. But what makes these places so extreme? Is it mere geographical coincidence, or are there complex scientific phenomena involved? And more importantly, how do life forms, including humans, adapt to these harsh conditions? Scientists devote their lives to studying these extreme conditions, not just out of curiosity, but because understanding them is crucial. They hold the keys to understanding our future, to unlocking the mysteries of climate change, and perhaps to our very survival. So, how do humans and animals survive in such conditions? What ingenious adaptations have they developed, and what can their resilience teach us about meeting the challenges of a rapidly changing world? In the northern reaches of Chile lies a stretch of land so dry it seems as if the gods themselves forgot to give it water. Welcome to the Atacama Desert, one of the driest places on Earth. Here, the sky remains perpetually clear, devoid of clouds, bringing life-giving rain. Some parts of this desert landscape have not seen significant rainfall for nearly 500 years. The Atacama has long been a subject of fascination and study. Early explorers were seduced by tales of a land so barren it defied all logic. Today, it serves as a natural laboratory for scientists from around the world. Believe it or not, the Atacama is so dry that NASA uses it as a test site for Mars rovers. Conditions here are as close to the Martian landscape as possible while remaining within Earth's limits. But what makes the Atacama so arid? Well, there are two main factors involved: the Hadley cell and the rain-shadow effect. In a nutshell, the Hadley cell is an air circulation system that pushes moist air out of the desert. Meanwhile, the Andes block out the remaining moisture, casting what's called a rain shadow over the region. The result? An environment so hostile that even microbes are struggling to survive. Nevertheless, this extreme drought provides invaluable information about how life could potentially exist on other planets. Despite its harshness, the Atacama is not devoid of life. Both plants and animals here have developed remarkable adaptations for survival. Some plants can store water in their thick leaves, and rodents hide deep underground to escape the heat. What about the people? Well, indigenous peoples have called this unforgiving land their home for generations. They've mastered the art of living in scarcity, using ancient methods of gathering fog and dew. By erecting nets on hilltops, they capture moisture from passing fog, turning it into a source of water. This is a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. From the parched lands of the Atacama, we go to a place where water is abundant, even perhaps overwhelmingly so. Welcome to Mawson Ram and Cherrapunji, two neighboring cities in India that vie for the title of the wettest place on Earth. Here, the skies are overcast for most of the year, soaking the ground with more than 467 inches of precipitation every year. That's nearly 40 times more precipitation than New York City sees. The abundance of water has shaped not only the landscape, but also the culture and lifestyle of the locals. Markets are overflowing with raincoats for sale, from handmade bamboo umbrellas to intricately designed raincoats. Rain is a constant companion, a life-giver nourishing crops and filling rivers. Yet it also brings challenges, from landslides to waterborne diseases. People here have learned to live in harmony with rain, utilizing its gifts while mitigating its dangers. But what causes such extreme rainfall in these regions? The answer lies in the combination of the monsoon system and the orographic uplift. Warm, humid air from the Bay of Bengal travels through this region, where it is lifted by the Khasi Hills, forcing the air to cool and release moisture. This meteorological phenomenon turns Mawson Ram and Cherrapunji into true cloud magnets, attracting moist air like nowhere else on Earth. In a place where conventional bridges would have rotted due to constant humidity, Local residents built living bridges by training tree roots to form natural arches. And these living structures blend seamlessly with their surroundings. Everything, including native wildlife, from frogs with webbed feet to birds with water-resistant feathers, has adapted to their surroundings, allowing them to thrive. In Mum and Cherrapunji, we now venture into a realm where water is but a mirage. Welcome to Death Valley, a place so hot that it holds the record for the highest air temperature ever recorded on Earth, 134 degrees Fahrenheit. The sun reigns here, scorching the earth and challenging the very limits of life. The relentless heat turns the valley into a natural furnace where the air seems to burn. Death Valley takes its ominous name from the pioneers who barely survived crossing this unforgiving terrain. Yet, despite its reputation, it has been the site of human activity for thousands of years, from indigenous tribes to gold prospectors. Today, Death Valley is a national park attracting those who dare to experience the extreme conditions. But make no mistake, the risks are real. Every year, people underestimate the heat in the valley, resulting in life-threatening situations. So, what makes Death Valley so incredibly hot? Its unique topography plays an important role. Surrounded by mountain ranges, the valley acts as a natural oven, trapping warm air and not allowing it to escape. In addition, the valley's low elevation, 282 feet below sea level at its lowest point, means that the air is compressed and heated as it descends further, raising the temperature. But even in this inhospitable environment, life finds a way. Plants such as Joshua trees have deep root systems that allow them to tap underground water sources, and the Death Valley pupfish do well in water that can reach temperatures as high as 116 degrees Fahrenheit. For humans, survival here is a matter of preparation and respect for the elements. Park rangers emphasize the importance of carrying enough water, staying out of the sun during peak hours, and never underestimating the extreme conditions of the valley. Ironically, the very element that makes Death Valley so challenging, its bright sunlight, is also a source of sustainable energy. Solar farms harness the sun's energy, turning one of Earth's harshest environments into a luminary of renewable energy. From the scorching heat of Death Valley, we travel to a land of ice and fire where the winds howl with such fury they can freeze you to the bone. Welcome to Iceland, a place where ice cyclones are not just a meteorological phenomenon, but a way of life. Here, cyclones are born from cold Arctic air colliding with warmer Atlantic currents. The result is a vortex of wind and snow that can last for days, turning the landscape into a frozen wonderland for some and a dangerous trap for others. Today, the approach of a cyclone elicits a well-coordinated response. Meteorologists are warning and residents are preparing to strike, all too aware of the power these storms can unleash. But what fuels these ice storms? The science of cyclones in Iceland is the story of contrasts. Warm ocean currents meet cold air, low-pressure systems interact with high-pressure areas. These opposing forces create a rotating mass of air that draws in moisture and turns it into snow as it enters colder regions. Cyclones often follow a predictable path, but their intensity can vary, making each one a unique event that tests the resilience of both the people and the environment around them. But even in such harsh conditions, life goes on. Arctic foxes have thicker fur, and some plants produce antifreeze proteins to survive the cold. For the people of Iceland, living in cyclone conditions has led to a number of innovative solutions. Homes are built to withstand strong winds, and geothermal energy provides a reliable source of heat, even during the worst storms. And when the storm passes, the community comes together to celebrate life, embracing the beauty and challenges of living in one of the most extreme climates in the world. Here's the revised and punctuated text. Mom and Cherrapunji, we now venture into a realm where water is but a mirage. Welcome to Death Valley, a place so hot that it holds the record for the highest air temperature ever recorded on Earth, 134 degrees Fahrenheit. The sun reigns here, scorching the earth and challenging the very limits of life. The relentless heat turns the valley into a natural furnace, where the air seems to burn. Death Valley takes its ominous name from the pioneers who barely survived crossing this unforgiving terrain. Yet, despite its reputation, it has been the site of human activity for thousands of years, from indigenous tribes to gold prospectors. Today, Death Valley is a national park attracting those who dare to experience the extreme conditions. But make no mistake, the risks are real. Every year, people underestimate the heat in the valley, resulting in life-threatening situations.